The news cycle is moving so fast right now that most people are missing the actual story. You know, they see the Phil Spencer retiring thing, they see Sarah Bond being purged, and they see her being replaced by a meta executive. And then they just think it's musical chairs. Well, it's not. It's a total liquidation of the Xbox identity. It's a reset. And here's the thing, everyone is complaining, but nobody is really offering a solution. If Asha Sharma walked into my office today and asked how to stop the bleeding, I wouldn't tell her to focus on the cloud or leverage AI. I'd tell her to look at the box. So here's my ideas. Let's be real about why Sarah Bond is out, first and foremost. The reports from insiders aren't just about corporate restructuring. They describe a leadership style that was completely disconnected from the people actually making the games. You had veterans, people who lived and breathed the hardware, walking out of the door because the vision at the top from Phil Spencer and their immediate boss, Sarah Bond, was to turn the console into a redundant accessory. And you can't run a gaming company by telling your customers that they don't need your product. This is an Xbox campaign that Sarah Bond came up with, where they tried to convince us that a smartphone or a laptop is the same as a Series X. That was the ultimate middle finger to the core fan base. It told the people who spent $500 or $600 on hardware and thousands of dollars on a library that their investment doesn't matter. And the market responded. 3 years of hardware revenue decline isn't a pivot. It's a full rejection. If Asha Sharma wants to save the bottom line, she has to do the unthinkable. She has to sunset Game Pass. I know what you guys are going to say, but Anthony, for the last 2 years, you've been saying how it's the best deal in gaming. And I stand by that because it is. But I'm not here to tell you what's best for your pockets. I'm telling you what I would do if I was to save Xbox. And yeah, I know it's the best deal in gaming. But the best deal for the consumer has become a slow-acting poison for the brand. See, Game Pass has trained an entire generation of new players to never buy a game again. And if they could have made it past the 35 million to 40 million subscribers that they currently have, maybe to 60 to 80 million, maybe it would have been a huge success for them. But they've stagnated. And it has devalued the very art that Microsoft spent $70 billion to acquire. Let's look at Black Ops 7. Now, Black Ops 7 has sold less copies than Black Ops 6. It's still a behemoth. Now, if you're putting that system day and date on a subscription service, you are probably leaving 1 million, 2 million in sales alone on the table. And even if the presence of Game Pass causes a dip of only that amount in traditional sales, that is still a massive hole in the bottom line. Because 2 million copies of a game at $70 is an extra $140 million in raw revenue that is gone. In an era of ballooning development costs, Microsoft can't really afford to be charitable with their biggest IPs. So sunsetting the service of Game Pass and returning to a premium sales model forces the brand to focus on quality again. It's going to ruffle some feathers, but it makes every launch an event rather than just another icon in a scrolling menu. Then, I would add new rules for exclusives. Because we have to be honest, the era of Xbox being a permanent console exclusive first-party manufacturer, that's probably dead. You're not going to see that happen at this point. And the shareholders, frankly, they won't allow a $100 million project to sit on just one platform anymore. But that doesn't mean you can't give up entirely, right? You can play it simple. Xbox becomes the home of first. If you want to play the next Gears, if you want to play Fable, if you want to play the next Halo, well, you got to play it on Xbox first. You give the console its 6 months to 1 year exclusive window. Play it first on Xbox. You give the hardware a reason to exist. If a gamer knows that they have to wait 6 months to a year to play the next biggest first-person shooter on a PlayStation, there's a good chance that a percentage of them will buy the Xbox hardware just to be a part of the conversation and be there first. You reclaim the cultural lead. Right now, by going multi-platform day and date, Microsoft is telling the world that their hardware is a second thought, a second-class citizen. Timed exclusivity can restore the hierarchy without sacrificing the long-term sales on other platforms. If Asha Sharma wants to be more than just a liquidator, she has to change the doctrine from day one. Step 1, reestablish the hardware. Stop trying to make the Series S the lead platform. It's holding back the generation, and frankly, it's frustrating a lot of developers. If you want to compete with the $800 PlayStation 5 Pro, you don't do it by undercutting the price with a weaker box. You do it by making the Series X a Pro console. That it becomes the undisputed most powerful place to play. You make the hardware an aspirational product again. Step 2. Now, this will really be speaking to the core gamer fan. Even if everything has gone digital, re-establish the disk drive mandate. What you do is you look at the PS5 Pro. Sony is getting roasted for charging $800 and not even including a disk drive or a stand on their console. To me, this is the easiest win in history for Xbox. What you do is you announce the next iteration of the hardware and you put the physical media front and center. Even if this doesn't sell a ton, you lean into ownership. You tell the audience, we aren't Sony. We value your physical library. We are at a point where the business of gaming has completely devoured the culture of gaming. Sarah Bond was a business move. Asha Sharma is a business move. But gaming isn't a spreadsheet. It's an emotional investment for a lot of people. The reason people are checking out, the reason hardware sales are tanking, is because the emotional connection is gone. That brand loyalty is gone. And you don't get that from a service like Netflix or even Game Pass. You get excited for a machine that opens a door to something new. Asha Sharma has a choice. She can be the person who finally turns the lights off on the Xbox hardware era. Or she can be the person who remembers why we started playing these things in the first place. But if she keeps following the AI and cloud playbook, we already know how this ends. It ends with a brand that is everywhere but belongs to no one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What would you do to save the Xbox? Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for joining me here at Starflagmedia Gaming, and we will catch you in the next video. Peace.